Hello. Hello, hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I'm switched upstairs. I'm going to lower the volume on my computer too in case that's an issue. There we go. That's better. Hi. Hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I want to make sure that my mic, like, obviously it's connected and everything, but I want to make sure it's not too quiet, not too soft. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay while I get some stuff set up. Hi, Hillary. How are you? I actually okay, there we go. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what I want to do tonight other than maybe read. I don't really know if I want to do anything else. I'm kind of just not like, okay, there's a little bit of rustling. Okay. Well, I was just messing with my ear, so maybe that might have had something to do with it. But let me see if I can make any adjustments. Okay. I don't know what else I can do here. I think that's all I can do. I don't know if I could really do anything about the rustling. I think it's just picking up like outside noise, not outside noises, but like other noises that are going on. I don't know. We'll see. It also could have been that I moved my microphone like in front of me as opposed to being over on the side. So, okay, cool. Whatever I did, apparently it worked. Woohoo. Okay. So it also could be like when I go to type because I have to like reach around my mic to like type and stuff. So like the sleeves could like rustle against the microphone. It could be any number of things. Your guess is as good as mine, basically. But anyway, hello. So for those of you that are new, if you're coming in, hi, my name is Gabby. I go by the moniker of the Curious Owl. I do live streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, basically doing productivity, reading sprints, co-working sprints, whatever you want to call them. We do about 4 sprints. Now, normally I do them Wednesday and Friday. Yesterday, I took the night off because I had a really, really bad headache. Like I was just cranky because of it, and I just wasn't feeling great. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna push them off to Saturday instead because I figured that at least would make me feel a little bit better. And then today I went and hung out with my parents for a little while, so that made me feel better. And we just kind of had a good time. And now I'm ready to like get some stuff done, but I don't know what I want to get done because everything that I needed to get done, like work wise and like other stuff that I wanted to do, I got done like earlier in the day. So I think we may just be reading, but I don't know what exactly I want to do because I'm currently working through 2 books. The first one is my beat up copy of The Will of the Many because Douglas got a hold of this one. He was hungry for knowledge, apparently, is what my husband likes to say. So, but I've got this. I'm currently just over, oh, not quite. I'm on page 99 of this. And I don't know how to feel about it, truthfully. I think I may have said this Wednesday when I was streaming, but I feel like I just am missing something. I feel like there's something that I would have needed like before going into this, like a prequel or some kind of a handbook of some kind to like explain half this world because I feel like I just don't understand anything of what's going on. I know, my poor book. Douglas got a hold of it. The dust jacket is fine. So the dust jacket could hide most of the damage, and really it's just this part up here. It's just this. I mean, and then a little bit on like the pages, but like nothing to where like I can't read it, basically. But Dougie. Darn Dougie. He is the one that gets into my books. When we had all my books, like most of my books downstairs, it was almost every day for like a week he was chewing up my books. And I was getting so pissed. I was like, I'm done with this. We're moving everything back upstairs. So I did. So I'm stuck on this one because like I feel like it's not what I I don't want to say it's not what I expected, because I did expect it to be something where like it was going to be high fantasy and it was going to be very intellectually based. I just feel like I'm missing so much information in this first 100 pages. Like, I feel that there's so much I don't understand, because I feel like that I needed something going into this to help me explain what the heck this world even is and like how it works or anything. But I do understand that that could very well be like the point of the first part of this book that James Islington is writing within. Like, I totally can recognize and understand that it is very likely I'm not supposed to know anything going into it. And it will very likely be something that I figure out later on. But it doesn't change the fact that I am feeling very lost and unsure of whether I want to continue with this. I'm uncertain at this point, because like, and it's not like I can say, oh, just, you know, if you're not liking it, just DNF it. Like, I don't know if I like it yet. I don't know if I want to DNF it if I don't like it, because I don't even know if I like it yet. I'm too short of a distance into the book to fully feel like I can make a decision. And that's personal for me. Like, I feel like 100 pages usually is a good amount of time to tell whether or not I like a book. But I feel like that I need to give this one a little bit more. I heard it doesn't really hold your hand, just got to be down for the ride. That's why I put it off. Yeah, that is exactly what I would say, is that it doesn't hold your hand through the story. Like, it very much throws you into this world without really any bearing of it. The most that I understand, and this is like from the very beginning of the story, so this is not something that's necessarily spoilery. The most that I understand is that you're following a character who goes by the name of Viz in this story. And obviously you learn he's dealt with a lot of trauma in his life. He's an orphan at the age of like 15 or 16, and he's 17 in the book. And he went through like basically a desolation of his hometown. Like, his hometown and his family were killed in some kind of battle, in some kind of war that was going on, that I'm still not clear on. But Viz basically was made into an orphan, and he has a lot of anger and resentment to the government that surrounds this world he's in. And you, in the very first chapter, meet him when he's working in the prison system, and you learn a little bit about what is this power called will that everyone basically has. And especially in this prison system that he works in, people get basically the will sucked out of them, and it is transferred to various higher ups, people who are like higher in government, higher in social status, and they use that will for their own purposes, whatever that is, using for it's basically their magic. And in the very beginning, there's a man who is called Alcisor. It's very Roman and Greek names. It's very Roman and Greek inspired. I can tell that much. He comes in and finds out that Viz is not only an orphan, but that he has not been able to give up his will. He's not ever given up his will for any reason. And he is interested in him and actually goes as far as to adopt him, because supposedly he thinks that Viz has some knowledge or is in some way going to be able to be molded into what Alcisor wants him to do. And what he wants him to do is essentially infiltrate this academy that is very well known, is like, it's where the dark academia aspects of this book come in, is that he wants this guy to infiltrate this academy for some reason that is not clear as of yet where I'm at in this book. But that's as much as I've gotten, and it does look like that someone is after Viz and or Alcisor, because there was an attack that was made on them, and whatever the purpose of that is not clear as of yet. It's not clear to Viz. It's not, you know, being explicitly stated. This is very much a book where like you're following literally step by step what Viz is going through. And you get very random spurts of things that like pertain to his past and pertain to what he's done. Like, he's gone through so many different names. He's moved from place to place and gone under different aliases. There is someone else in the story who also knows who Viz is, and is wanting them for her own purposes that are also unclear. nobody really like fully explains anything at this moment because obviously like we are not supposed to know this information until much later. But it is kind of something that's dragging the story for me. It's something that's dragging it for me. And that's why I'm unsure if I want to DNF it, because I want to know more. I want to read on to see if anything starts to make, pieces click together. Because I have heard that when you get through this book, that it's really good and that it really, everything kind of like comes together in a nice way. So I'm uncertain of what I want to do. The other book that I want to get started though, and it's because both of these are for, as I throw things, these are both on my TBR for my Roll for TBR game. The second book is Eragon by Christopher Paolini. This will be a reread for me, so this is something that I've already read, and I read it a few years ago and massively enjoyed it. But I want to reread it because I have yet to read the rest of the series, and I know that this is a series that I would really enjoy. I mean, it's got dragons in it and dragon riders. Like, this is a classic in terms of like young adult fantasy literature. So, like I said, I've read the first one, previously. I read it a few years ago. I don't have a lot of memory in terms of like what happened in the story and what exactly like the inner workings of things were, but I do remember that I really liked the relationship between the main character Eragon and the dragon hatchling that he gets in this book. And I've never seen the movie, so I've never seen like the actual adaptation that was made of this, which is something I would like to watch after I read this if I can. But I would listen to the audiobook of this, and unfortunately, I feel like that with The Will of the Many, I would do so much better with the audiobook, but I cannot access the audiobook without paying for it. And I don't want to pay for it, especially if I'm unsure if I'm going to enjoy it. It's not available through my library, through Libby or Hoopla. It's not something, like I said, I'm willing to pay for. So I'm kind of stuck, unfortunately. But I feel like with The Will of the Many, the audiobook would have been the way to go with this one. Because I feel like for some reason that the way physically I'm reading it, nothing's clicking, Oh, sorry. I dropped papers for my granny squares that I'm trying to continue to work on. I am currently 7 behind, and I don't think I'm going to get any of them done today. Truthfully, I don't think so. So. Ugh, very thirsty. All right, so, anyway, for people that are new, how we do things here is that I do 4 sprints every stream, where they're 50-minute sprints with a 10-minute cooldown to yap and talk about how we did during the sprint, talk about what's going on, things like that. So we are going to get started with our first one here in just a second. And I'm going to get my timer set up for it. So let me know what it is, though, that you are going to be working on in chat, what you're planning on doing, reading, whatever it is that you're planning on working through. I think I'm going to start at least with trying to get through some of the Will of the Many in this sprint, because I do, again, like now that I'm talking about it, I would like to try to get through more of it to figure out what the heck is going on. So I think I'll start with that, and then if I'm struggling with it, I might switch over to Eragon, and in the next sprint and kind of like go from there. I need to do some laundry tonight. Might read Holy Terrors by Margaret Owen. Ooh, Margaret Owen I've heard is pretty good. What was the Merciful Crow, I think was her YA series? I heard that was a pretty good series. So, or wait, was that Margaret Owen or was it Little Thieves? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our first sprint. So I will see you guys on the other side of 50. Let's get going. All right, guys. That is the end of our first sprint. How'd we do? Okay, so I did get through more of the Will of the Many, and I got to a part that actually was a lot more interesting, I guess. Had some like funnier moments throughout it, which I think was like one of the things I'm missing is that like there wasn't really moments of levity. I mean, honestly, rightly so, because there was a lot going on. There was meeting the character, meeting our secondary character, there was an attack and figuring out what's going on, and yeah, there was the ability to have some levity in these last few pages. So I didn't read a lot. I got from page 98 to page 128. So I got about 30 pages read. I'm reading this a lot slower just because like I really want to try to give it like its due and try to give it like its time. Um so it's taking me a little bit longer to read it, but I, like I said, did read a part that was actually much more enjoyable. It was quite funny. The character did some stupid actions and had to like cover it up a little bit, so that was fun. So I think I'll continue working through that. I also did a little bit of just a tiny bit of prep, just really like the template prep for my next TBR game that I'll be filming here in a couple days, so I don't have to do that again um, on that day. And yeah, that's about it. Saw Brandy and Bree come in over on YouTube. So hi girls, I miss you. I know Brandy's also doing sprints on YouTube right now. So want to make sure I went over and I gave a like to that. So if you can, if you want to support, you might go see my friend Brandy at Books with Brandy Shanae on YouTube. Leave her a like, say hi, whatever, stuff like that. Hillary switched out the laundry, folded some laundry last week, unloaded the dishwasher, and made a vegan high protein pudding as a snack. Ooh, that sounds yummy. That sounds good. I haven't had dinner yet, mostly because I had like a later lunch with my parents, and I'm still really full from that. So I'm not really that hungry. Um, but yeah, so anyway, other than that, let's talk about stuff that's been going on. So while we're yapping in this yap time, I've recently, for some reason, gotten into the K-pop side of TikTok, and not that I'm mad about it, because like there's definitely like I don't know, like I haven't really ever listened to K-pop. I listen to baby metal, which is Japanese, but like I've been specifically getting a lot of Stray Kids like content on my feed, which again, I'm not mad about because there's quite a few songs that I'm like, "Ooh, that's really catchy. That's really interesting." The guys are also very attractive, so I'm like, "Okay, I'm good with this. I'm down for it." So if you're a Stray Kids fan, let me know, what is your favorite song by them? Currently, I think my favorites are Maniac, Chick Chick Boom, and La La La. Those are my top three right now. It was tasty, topped with raspberries. Oh, yum! I love that. I love raspberries. Raspberries are so good. Yeah, I've never really been into K-pop, and I know that I'm kind of late to the party, if you will. Been late to the game for a while. I know that like especially it's been all over my feed because with like BTS's return, I guess. Like I never really listened to BTS. I don't really know any of their music. But for some reason Stray Kids has been like all over my feed, and I don't know why. It was I got interested in listening to one song, and now it's like everywhere on my TikTok feed. Again, I'm not mad about it by any means. I do enjoy some of the music. I I feel though that it's really weird to like get into fandoms like that anyway. Like get into any kind of like spaces like that because I know that there's so many rabid fans, and it's fine to be like a fan of them, but like I don't think I could ever be like, I think they call them stays, which is like the fandom. I don't think I could be like the super high level like I guess it's more the Delulu people. I could never be the Delulu people, if that makes sense. I could never. I really couldn't because I'm Delulu about enough things. I don't need to be Delulu about a K-pop band. Which, funny enough, I realized because with going through and getting it on my feed, I'm seeing a lot of like information about the guys and information about like how they got started and all this stuff. Um, I am older than every single person in that group. I am older than the oldest person in that group by 3 months. That is weird to me. I don't know why, but that feels very strange to me that I'm 3 months older than the oldest person in that group. The rest of them are 2000 babies, like born in the year 2000. So they're my sister's age. And that's, for some reason, that's really bizarre to me. Like, my brain can't process that for some reason, that I am older than every single one of these boys. And like, they're, they look in a lot of ways like older. I mean, not to say that they look like old, but they definitely look older than their ages are, which is weird to me. I don't know why. Haven't really gotten into K-pop yet. I just recently watched K-pop Demon Hunters a few weeks ago and loved it. And actually, that's interesting because I do believe that I think it's Felix and Hyunjin from Stray Kids, or maybe it's just Felix. I don't remember. Some of the guys from Stray Kids are actually like they do some of the vocals in K-pop Demon Hunters, if I'm not mistaken. Because from what I understand, most of the group is Korean Australian. I think. I think the majority of them, or at least a couple. I know a couple of them are for certain. See, I'm still learning. I'm still learning all the ins and outs of this group. Um, but I've been enjoying it. I've been having a good time with it. I mean, it's kind of similar to how I ended up finding Baby Metal, which is like a Japanese metal band. Um, it was just very random. Like I found them, and that's kind of how I found Stray Kids. Was just very randomly, just popped up on my feed one day. I watched you know, a video of for Maniac, and it's kind of how I just got into it. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's not something I would have seen myself getting into. However, I'm also learning that this particular group is part of like a subgroup within K-pop where it's, I guess, called noisy K-pop, where it's like super high energy, louder music. It's not like um you know, super, it's very different than what I would see from like American boy bands, like boy pop bands. It's very different sounding wise. And it's like got a little bit of rock into it, a little bit of hip hop into it. At least Stray Kids is, and I really dig it. Like the reason I like Maniac and Chick Chick Boom specifically are because like they're very high energy, and just like the sound of them is more in line with what I like. Same with La La La. Um, I don't know. I'm really getting into it. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if I would necessarily venture out into any other K-pop groups necessarily. Um, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like if there's any bands that are very similar to Stray Kids that anyone knows about that are in that genre, let me know because I'd be interested in trying them out. Um, I'm looking to expand my horizons. I've always been a very rock and roll emo kid, pop punk, kind of person. Um, but I like to expand my horizons in some ways, especially if I can find sounds that are very similar to things that I like. I don't mind venturing into other areas of music. Um, so if anyone knows of anything like Stray Kids adjacent or interesting, like something like similar, hit me up, let me know, because I'm interested. I'm finding a small new part of my life that I didn't expect to get involved in at almost 30. So, all right, so that is the end of our pomo, or our break time. I was gonna say something else and I totally forgot. Oh, that's what it was. It's sitting right here. I got back into collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. This though is something that I did when I was a kid, and I'm finding my love again for collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I have about almost 30 here in this little bag. I have to get top loaders for them so that they're protected. Um, but I got back into collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and when I tell you how happy my inner child is grabbing these and starting my new collection of them, like it is the best feeling in the world. There's a card shop not far from my house that I really like going with my dad to, because my dad's been like collecting. He's got a small business right now where he resells like baseball, football cards, all these things on like Whatnot, and like figurines and stuff like that. So my dad has this like small business that started up, and at one of the one of the card shops that we like to go to look for like baseball cards and stuff like that he can find, they have a whole section for like Pokemon cards and Magic cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and the Yu-Gi-Oh cards are like 10 cents a piece, and it's like a lot of the most common ones, like the most common monsters and trap and spell cards. Now as a kid I never played Yu-Gi-Oh, like the actual card game, um and the reason was I never had anyone to play with. I was the only girl that would play Yu-Gi-Oh, and nobody would want to play with me because I was a girl getting into it in my small town. Just follow Stray Kids on Instagram to help my algorithm along. I really like them. Hillary, I think that if you have very similar music tastes to me, um you would really like them. I think that like they're just heavy enough to be fun, like it to give you that kind of like hip hop alternative aspect, but still has that boy band chemistry, that boy band like aesthetic, if you will, that's not overpowering to where you were like, oh my gosh, this feels like a 90s American pop boy band. It's not that vibe at all. Like it's very different. Um but yeah, so I got basically 30 different cards, some basically ones that I remember having in my collection when I was a kid. So like spell and trap cards that I remember having, some monster cards I remember having. I'm slowly starting to build the collection. And it's bringing me so much joy because I remember from the time I was about 5 or 6 to when I was about 13, I collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and because I was the only person that played them, I sold them off to a friend of mine because he was interested in it, and I wasn't, I wasn't playing with them. I just literally had them all I literally had them all in like a Christmas bag, like one of those big bags you get for Christmas to put your toys and stuff, like your presents in to give to people. I had a whole bag filled with those. I had almost 500 cards. I counted, like 487, I think. And the fact that that number sticks out in my brain is ridiculous to me. But um so I'm getting back into my love of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm trying to find joy again in the things that I loved as a kid, that I feel that I pushed aside because I was in some ways ashamed of it. Like I said, I was the only girl that really collected them when I was a kid, and so I was kind of looked at for weird because I was a girl collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards, which is super nerdy. Like, I kid you not, guys, I was so obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh, like the original cartoons, the original anime. I was obsessed. I had bed sheets that were Yu-Gi-Oh, I had pillows that were Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, it was such a huge part of my life when I was a kid, was collecting them, and I really missed it. And watching my dad kind of be reinvigorated by doing his like baseball card stuff and selling that off, but also like the whole experience of going through like the bins and finding them, like I never had that as a kid. It was just I got the packs from like Walmart or something like that, and I would open them up at home. But Seeing my dad kind of relive in some ways his childhood with like collecting these figurines, even if it's just to sell them, but collecting the figurines and like being nerdy and having all these fun nerdy things happen. Um, it's been kind of like healing my inner child in a lot of ways. Um, so it's been just really nice. My friends and I used to invent our own Digimon and draw them. Draw cards for them. I love that so much. That is so cool. Oh, I wish, because I was never an artist. I could never be an artist. But um, I'm so glad that you had something like that too, because I I really loved doing so many nerdy things when I was a kid, but it also came with a lot of shame when I was growing up because it just made me stick out as being a nerdy kid, and I hung out with the nerdy kids. But even with the nerdy kids, I stuck out like a sore thumb because I was a girl with all the nerdy boys. So it is what it is. But I wanted to share that because that was kind of something that happened over the last couple of weeks that I was really, really proud of to get back into. I will be collecting more as time goes on, but I'm so excited. And I actually want to learn how to play because I know that, like, it's just something I always wanted to do. I want to actually learn how to play. So anyway, good God, I've been talking for freaking ever, it feels like. So we're going to go ahead and get into our next sprint. I will see you guys on the other side of 50, and we will talk again soon. Okay, friends, hello, welcome back. I hope that was a good sprint for you. I feel like I'm finally getting into the will of the many. So for anyone that is just joining us, first of all, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. I'm so glad that you're joining me. So sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, little peep. My bad. So if I I will say the first 100 pages of this, and this is like an over 600 page book. The first 100 pages of this took me a while to get through. Um, sorry, sorry, little peep. No worries. So yeah, the first 100 pages were really difficult because there's not really a lot that you know going into the story of like the world. It's very Greek and Roman inspired. So if you like those kinds of areas, then you would probably like this because it's very heavily inspired by those Greek and Roman times. The big problem though I had at first was that it almost felt like I needed something to kind of get me started in this world to understand the nuances of it, the political structure, things like that. There is a magic system, but it almost is kind of like the magic is also science involved a little bit. Um, so there's definitely like a lot of moving parts within it that made it very difficult at first to get involved with. But in the last like 60, 70 pages that I've read tonight, it's become more interesting because we're actually getting to more of the academic things of the story. And so like, and this is before even the main character gets to the actual school that they're supposed to be in. They basically end up going to this place to study for a couple of months before actually going to school so that they can basically prepare for what the academic environment is going to be in the actual academy that they're going to. um and there's just like there's a lot that in terms of like the way that the world is structured, like there's different levels of people. It's there's different castes of people, and it all depends on how much will essentially you have, which is like their magic. The bottom tier is people who actually give up their will. They're considered like the lowest people, and they have to give up their magic for the higher ups. And that's because of some dictated idea going into this world. And so learning the mechanics of that and the nuances in conversation and things like that is really interesting. Um, it's a very classist caste system, if you will. Um, I'm enjoying it more now, like I said, that I'm getting more into like the actual academic aspects. And there's like an attack that happens at the very beginning of the story that there's a lot of questions about, and it feels like there's so many groups of people that are thrown at you that could possibly be behind it, and you don't know really like where everyone fits in this world and what they're supposed to be for. But now that I'm getting past that 100 page mark, I'm seeing more and more and understanding more and more of what's happening and what actually is like the scope of things, which is really good. I just read a scene where the main character, Viz, gets into kind of a conversation with someone who kind of is acting like they're not gonna screw them over at some point. That very political kind of like sit down, sizing each other up kind of thing, which was really cool. I love scenes like that, like the tension that's in them, and then like the um, just the real feeling, I guess, that you get from like those kinds of conversations where like they're sizing each other up and they're figuring out who's really like whether they're really telling the truth to each other or not. Um, so, and for those of you that are new that are joining me for the first time, I do dual stream on both Twitch and YouTube. So I do have both chats open to where I can see them. So if there's something in one chat that is not there that I'm responding to, it's because it's in the other chat. Hillary switched out the laundry again and managed 20% in Holy Terrors. Very nice. So yeah, I was talking during the last chatty bit about my rediscovery, well, not rediscovery. I've always loved Yu-Gi-Oh, but my attempt to get back into collecting and playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So that's just been healing my inner child, and it makes me so very, very happy. Other things I've been trying, I got through a row of my shirt today, my little itty bitty shirt. I'm just still working on the ribbing for the collar right now, which, so yeah, it's been difficult, this one, because it's very tight stitches, and so it's very difficult to um, work into them. I am not only live on Twitch. I am live on both Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. I decided to do it that way because I have friends that I've built a community over on YouTube doing productivity sprints and stuff, but I wanted to bring that over into Twitch as well because I know there is a co-working productivity community here as well. And so, I figured it was easier for me personally to dual stream because I don't want to have to do multiple streams in a week if I don't need to, just to be on two different platforms. So yeah, I'm over on Twitch and YouTube. If you're over on Twitch, you do have access to the super sweet task list, task box stuff. Like there's commands that you can use if you're over on Twitch. If you are over on YouTube, you cannot use it because it's not set up to work with YouTube, because they don't really use commands in the chats over on YouTube. So this is available through Twitch. So if you would like to add on any tasks that you're planning on doing, I'm more than happy to show you how to do it if you don't know, if you would like to see something, with that, like I'm more than happy to show. I don't know everything when it comes to this command system, but I know enough to at least get you started. So, but anyway, I think that I'm going to continue with this. I'm genuinely surprised with how much I'm enjoying this now. So I think I'm going to continue with reading The Will of the Many during the next sprint. So, hi, Bree. Hi, friend. I'm so glad you made it to the chatty bit. So yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, no worries. By all means, go ahead, Lil Peepin. I would actually appreciate it if you subscribe on YouTube. It is free, first of all, and it's actually right now not so much because I've been slacking with putting out content on there, but it is one of the more frequent places I will be on, in terms of like content, videos, things like that. Too techie for me. No, it's okay. It's totally okay. I wish that YouTube had the ability to let you use the command system for Super Sweet Taskbot. If it does, I just don't know it. But I know that it does work well on Twitch. Yes, Will of the Many. I am enjoying it so much. Look at my poor book, though. Look at my poor book. My Douglas got a hold of this book. Apparently, according to my husband, according to Robert, he was hungry for knowledge. I love my dogs, I do, but I hate when they do this. And this was because I left this sitting out on the couch and he had full reign of it. I can't do that. I apparently cannot trust my dogs with my books if they're sitting out in the wild. I apparently can't trust them with them either because if I have when I have my bookshelves downstairs, he would get into the bookshelves and just grab books randomly. It's annoying. A lot going on. We're camping with the Epilepsy Foundation. Be back tomorrow. Oh, okay. Oh gosh, you said you have a lot going on. I worried there for a second, Bree. I was really worried. Um, yeah, I mean, I hope you have fun. I know that the camps before were really fun for you, so I hope you guys have fun on this one. I hope everything's going okay. I know that things have just been crazy. I know for me in particular, like I've only been able to stream recently because like I've just been so busy with work and like I haven't been reading as much as I wanted to. Gonna get rid of this stupid chat thing that doesn't need to be there. So yeah, it's been really crazy. Like I'm on spring break now, which is great. And I am excited because like I'll be home mostly and be able to just like do what I want, but I've just been so bogged down. Like I had in March I had two IEP meetings, which are basically meetings about my special education students. For those of you that don't know, it's basically just a meeting to like go over their yearly goals and looking at toward next year what we want to do with them, things like that. And so I had two of those in 1 week, and then the week after was just crazy behavior wise. Like the last 3 weeks, behavior wise, have just been awful for my students. And I think it's been because they were anticipating the spring break and like they're just overdone and they're just done with the school year, you know? Like it's just that time of year for kids. Um, it's just been it's been a time. I've been like exhausted coming home and just like not like upset or anything with it, just tired and not will having a lot of energy to do much else when I get home, kind of thing, other than the occasional stream, kind of thing. I have two books. One is a biography on Kurt Cobain. Very cool. I Kurt Cobain is definitely, that would be something I would be interested in because I do like reading biographies of my favorite like celebrities or memoirs from celebrities. So I'll have to check into that one. There's a fantasy which I stole from my old school like 8 years ago. I've read it like 7 times. Now that I completely forgot about the plot, I can read it again. Oh, I love that. That's what I'm doing with I'll also be working on maybe tonight. Probably start it tomorrow. Aragon. Um so I read this for the first time a few years ago, but I've completely forgotten like so much of it. Like I know the main gist of it with like a kid finds a dragon egg and they become friends. Like I know that much. So but I don't remember like a lot of the plot beside that. Like especially like I know that like him finding the egg is like a really big thing in this world. Like it's almost unheard of. Um and so like I don't have a lot of memory with that one either. Um, so I'm excited to reread that, and especially because I never read the series when I was growing up, because this series came out when I was like in elementary school, I think initially, and I never read the series, and I have all the books in the series, and I have the next book, Murtagh, which is part of the same world, but it's an older. It's still kind of young adult, but it's like it's a different story in the same world as Aragon, I guess is the best way I can describe it. So I'm interested in like finishing and reading those, but I don't remember much of what happened in this one, so I need to reread it. It's testing season. What works in September or October doesn't work now. No, for real though. Like, and it's not even so much that it's not working now as it's just there's like I have some kids who have higher behavior needs than others, and we also had a new student start like like this past week. The week before spring break, he starts at our school. And so we're having to like test him and figure out what's going on with him, while we also have a student who's extremely violent, who has had behaviors that have been happening since November. And we had to have an MDR about it because he's been suspended so many times because of his behavior. And like this kid is just, and he honestly causes so many more problems for the rest of our students because he traumatizes them with his outbursts and things like that. And then like you just have kids that they can't stay focused because of that. So it's just been like the last 3 weeks in particular have been a rampant um overwhelming like behavior issue. And I can't do anything about it. Like I can do the best I can to like mitigate them and try to like help re-regulate the students and everything, but there's just some days where like I could not really do anything to help the situation, and it was unfortunate, but thankfully it's become like, even though like a lot of what happens at school is difficult to handle, this is the only job I've had where I leave that building and I'm like I might be tired and I need to take a nap, but I'm fine. Like, I don't take that stuff home for the most part, which is unheard of for me. Oh gosh, yeah, it's super early there. have to go to bed even if I know I'm not going to sleep. Oh, I hate insomnia. I'm so sorry. Well, thank you so much, Little Peep, for hanging out with me for at least a little bit. I hope you can come join us again for another sprint. I do sprint on Wednesdays and Fridays normally, but because I'm on spring break, I will be streaming also this coming week, Monday to Friday from 12 p.m. EST to 5 p.m. EST. So hopefully it'll be earlier in the day for you to where you can come hang out. Would love to have you come back. So please feel free to come join in whenever I go stream. So, but I hope you get some good sleep. And I will hopefully see you soon. So, but yeah, so it's just been a time, you know? It's that time of year. It's with the territory. Yeah, no worries. Come hang out when you want. If you want to join in on the YouTube stuff, by all means, come hang out too. I'll be on both. So, but have a great night. Have a great night. Yeah, it's been a time. We'll just, it is what it is, unfortunately. All right, I'm gonna take a sip of my water, or a couple sips for that matter. But anyway, Adrian! Adrian, hi! Hi, my friend! Oh my gosh, I had Brandy and Bria and Adrian all come in. I feel so loved! All my friends are here, and I have Hillary, and I just feel so loved. I feel so loved today. That makes me happy. How are you, my friend? Gosh, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. Doing a live on TikTok, just checking in to say hello. No worries. Have fun on TikTok. I am so happy. I'm genuinely just I'm in a good mood. I'm in a great mood. And it's not mania, I promise. It's not being manic. I gotta check in on that, but no, it's not. Is that? No. It's Adrian. It's a girl. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm just what was I gonna do? Oh, I was gonna start another sprint. Good God, I'm getting distracted. It's okay. Everything's fine. Hell has frozen over. I know. Get everybody in the same place. That's crazy. I'm so proud of you though, Adrian. I'm so happy that you've like built a community over there on TikTok. I see some of your things here and there, but I'm so happy that you've created such a strong community over there and like you're doing so well over there. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Oh, I'm doing great. I mean, like I was just bitching about the last couple of weeks when it comes to work, but in general, like I'm actually doing really good, and I'm so glad to be like in a place where I feel like I'm actually like in a good spot. Anyway, y'all hang out and chat and talk. I'm gonna get started with our next sprint. I'm gonna go grab a snack real quick, and I will see y'all on the other side of 50. All right, guys, welcome back. How was that sprint for everybody? I got to page 192, so I have read almost 100 pages during sprints. I do think I'm, though, going to end it here because I'm starting to get tired. My brain is starting to go a little fuzzy around the edges, so I apologize. But I am very happy with my progress for today. I hope you guys got some good stuff done. I hope you got some reading in if you did some reading. If not, that's fine. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing great. I hope everyone's going to have a good weekend. As a reminder, for those of you that don't know, I will be streaming Monday through Friday this week. This is the plan, to stream Monday through Friday of this coming week because I will be on spring break and streaming from 12 p.m. EST to 5 p.m. EST. Now, there is room for changes, there is room for anything like that. Like, for instance, I think I may have to do my Tuesday stream later because I do need to go to my parents during the day on Tuesday to help my mom with some stuff over there. So the Tuesday stream may either get pushed back or canceled, but I will let you guys know over on Discord specifically what's going on. So if you want to stay up to date on when I'm streaming, if I have to cancel stream for any reason, make sure to be on Discord because I usually will send out announcements about that stuff there. But otherwise, the plan is still to do 12 to 5 and do just basically what we're doing like we did today. So I hope everyone has a great rest of your night wherever you are. I hope you guys get some good sleep if you're heading off to bed. And otherwise, I will see all of you guys on Monday for the first of our week-long streams. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.